Welcome back. Today I want to make some elderberry champagne. So I've been looking online what to do with my elderberry. If you want a shrub that grows really fast for your food forest, elderberry it is. I planted this about 2 years ago and it's growing so fast. I have 2 of them and I actually started propagating them again this year. So hopefully I'll have many elderberry bushes in my food forest. So the plan for this elderberry is for it to grow really fast and take the canopy of my food forest. And once my fruit trees are big enough, I'll shut down the elderberry and I'll leave my fruit trees to take over that canopy layer. So let's make some elderberry champagne. To make your elderberry, you're gonna wanna pick flowers that are fully opened. So let me show you this one here. This one right here is fully open and it's beautiful. There's a lot of yeast on those flowers. So we're gonna be using that to make our champagne. I just collected my elderberries and I have a bowl. It's pretty nice. It's about 20 of them or so. And here we are. Look at these beautiful flowers. I also want to collect some strawberries because they're gonna go into the same batch. I have a few strawberries in the patch, but I have more in the freezer, so that's what I'm going to be using for the strawberries. So once you've collected your flowers, you're going to want to pick them off the stems, and then you're going to be adding them to a brewing bucket or whatever brewing vessel you have. I'm going to be adding just the flowers, and then I'm going to be adding about a pound of strawberries in there as well. I'm going to be dissolving about 2 pounds of white sugar into about a half gallon of water. And once that gets dissolved, I'm going to set it aside and let that cool. And once that it's cool, I'm going to add it to my main brewing bucket. I have an airlock and I have a lid for my brewer's bucket. So if you don't have that, you can use a towel to keep the bugs off of your brewing. So I have a bucket that has a little hole in it, and my airlock will go right into that and prevent any bugs from getting into my fermentation. So let's get working. One important note when brewing is that if you use tap water, you have to let it sit for about 24 hours so that the chlorine gets gases off. So I've placed my tap water in here overnight, and hopefully there's not a whole lot of chlorine in there. Otherwise the chlorine kills the yeast that you want. So if you want, you can just buy spring water or distilled water. Cleaning your petals is simple. Just take them off of here like this, and then you'll have the petals like this, and add them to your clean bowl. You just want to prevent too many stems in there. The recipe I'm following is a European recipe, so it's in liters and grams. So I'm doing my best here to give you better estimates. So the batch that I'm making is about 2 gallons worth. So you start with a little bit more than 2 gallons, maybe about 2.5 gallons worth of water in order to make this recipe. So I have my petals already picked, and I'm going to be adding my strawberries that I have in the freezer that I've been saving up for this recipe. But I also collected a few fresh strawberries, and what you want to do is remove the green part and add that to your petals. I'm going to be doing a first fermentation for about a week, and I'm going to be placing this in my garage. It's pretty warm in there, but that's okay. That's what we want. This is the best way that I know how to save strawberries. If you don't have enough coming out of your garden, you can harvest them and freeze them into a sheet tray like this. So when you want to use them, they're kind of loose. So now I have enough strawberries to add to my brew here. So now I have my strawberries and my elderberries from my garden, and I'm going to be adding them to my brew bucket. In here I have about 1.5 gallons of water, and I'm going to be adding the half gallon that I added the sugar to once that is cool into here. To my brew, I'm going to add the juice of this lemon and the juice of this orange, just to give it a little more flavor. So I bought a mixed bag of yeast, and this one is actually the Premier Blanc, and this one will produce a similar style of champagne. So the packet says that it's good to make 5 gallons, so I'm going to be using about half, or a little less than half. The recipe that I'm using actually calls for about a teaspoon. So I'm going to add the yeast to a cup of water that I took out of my fermenter there, because I want to start the yeast before I add it to the whole mix. So I'm going to add it to the cup and then add it to the fermenter in about 30 minutes. Once your syrup has cooled to the touch, you can add it to your fermentation. So about 30 minutes have passed and the yeast is already bubbling. So this is ready to add to the fermentation vessel. Now the airlock is in, and I'm going to put it into my garage. After 8 days, my primary fermentation is done. Let me show you what my bucket looks like. This is what the inside of the bucket looks like. It smells very sweet and yeasty. There's no molds, and everything is looking pretty good. In this next step, I will filter the juice and put it into my bottles here that I am sanitizing with 1 step, but you can also use a little bit of bleach solution to sanitize your equipment. On this next step, we're gonna have to filter the fermentation. So I have a lot of elderberries in there and some strawberries. So I've enlisted the help of my beautiful wife here. She's gonna be helping me hold this colander. You can see the dead yeast at the bottom. Try to leave that in your bucket when decanting. Make sure that you compost your deliciousness ferments. That way you return the nutrients to the soil and grow more. When rinsing off your bucket and the dead yeast, don't pour that into your sink, because that will make your pipes ferment a little, and they're gonna be a little stinky. So just dump it outside. I'm going to do a second filtration so that the champagne is a little bit more clear. I'm using a cheesecloth to do that. And I'm just gonna line the colander with it. And I'm just gonna pour it into the original fermentation bucket, which has been rinsed and sanitized. Okay, so we're gonna do a little taste test. Let's see how it tastes. It actually has a pretty nice rosé color. You can see it's got a little bit of rosé color here. Very slightly. You can see it a lot against the white contrast in the bucket. Smells good.
It's like a mild, dry wine.
So now we have to do a second fermentation. I'm going to take my bottles that I've sanitized and I am going to be filling them up. You have to, after filling them up, you're going to have to burp them every single day, so that way they don't explode on you. So you're going to burp them for about a week, and after a week there should be enough fermentation in here and enough fizziness and carbonation, and you can put them into the fridge. That will stop the fermentation, and you should be able to drink it in about another week. So 2 weeks away from fresh elderberry strawberry champagne. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you can see when we crack these open in about 2 weeks and see our reactions.